Hello guys, this is going to be the short video of Leetcode problem number 165, which is compare version numbers. It is medium, but I think it should be easy problem. Let's go deep into the problem. Here we have given two version strings, like one is version 1 and another is version 2 name of the strings. We have to compare them. A version strings consists of revisions separated by dots. Like we have seen that the version 1, version dot, version 2 software updates comes in different versions. That kind of versions we have given. The value of version is in the value of revision, it's integer conversion ignoring leading zeros. We will see it. So to compare version strings, compare their revision values in left to right order. If one of the version string has fewer revisions, treat them revision values as zero. Like we will treat it from left to right order, and if the version has fewer revisions, then we will treat the remaining version values as zero. So after treating, if the version value one is less than version two, then we have to return minus one. If the version one is greater than version two, we have to return one, and otherwise we have to return version zero. Like in this example, we have 1.2. So before point we have 1 1 which is equals. Then we will check 2. And here we have 1 0. Here we have given we have to ignore the leading zeros. This means this is not the leading zero. This is the preceding zero. So we can't ignore this. So here we have after point 2 and 10. So 2 is less than 10. Then we have to return minus 1, which is minus 1. We also see the explanation of this. Version 1 second revision is was 2. Like the second revision of version 2 is 2. And the version 2 second revision is 10. Take our own example to make it better understandable. So we will take the entry string as 1.0.0.0.1 as a version 1. And again we are taking 1.0.0.0.1. So you can guess here the output will be 0, sorry, 0, because all the values and the revisions are same. What happened if I do 1 here? So what would be the answer? We will check it. So how do we solve it here? We will check for 1. 1, 1 are same. After point 0, 0 are same. Means we have to continue this. And 0, 0 again same. Then we continue this to here. And here, when we do store this value and compare for these two, here the version 1 is less than version 2. Then we have to return minus 1 accordingly. Okay. And we will not check further for here. Suppose if this is not given, this is our case, then already in example 2 thing I think we had done this. Here we will assume that it have this version to have 1.0.0.0, like in each iteration for this case this will be assumed as 0. I hope you are getting this. I hope that is clear to you. So now we will check how to solve this question. So we have version 1 and version 2. Of course, we need their string their length. We will store an interval in n1 and n2. Then we will also take one pointer I is equals to 0 and j is equals to 0. And then we will use loop for the each iteration when we have I is less than n1 or j is less than n2. Like in this case, I is less than, why we use or here? Because we have to completely run the longest string. So that's why we are using or here. Then we in while loop we use another variable like num is equals to 0, num1 and 2 कर देते हैं. We will do num1 and num2 is equals to 0. Why we are taking this as 0? Like in each iteration the first value will be 0. Like in this case, if we have the value, then it will store the according value here. But if we don't have the value, then the starting value will be 0. Our assumed values will be 0. Then we're using while loop. While loop I is less than, sorry, I is less than n1, and here we check also. What we check? Version of I should not equals to dot. If it is, then come out of loop because we are separating this, because each revision before and after dot have separate values. That's why we are using this condition, and we are just storing num1 value, like what the continuous value we have, num1 equals to num1 star 10 plus version of I. What's the I value? Here we have to minus it from the value of 0. Get the proper value. We are minus taking the sky value and minus it from the 0. Then we are getting the value here at num1. Then we are just simply iterating I plus plus. Then we will use again same loop for while version 2 also. And then we check for, then we are doing this same for version 2. Here we are storing j version 2, here 1. Please don't make these mistakes in final code, otherwise it will give you error. Here we have using num2 and num2. Then what we will do according to the conditions if version 1. So if num1 is less than num2, then we have to return -1. Return -1. And otherwise we have to, if the condition is opposite, we have to return 1. And at last, if nothing will be the value, we are just continuing it, and at last we are returning 0. So this is the pseudocode, and now we will apply this logic, like we will dry run this code. So version 1 is 1.0.0.0.01, and here version 2 is 1.0 only. So at initially we are storing the n1 is equals to version 1 dot size, sorry, and n2 is equals to version 2 dot size. So we having n1 and n2 as their values. So these while loop run till we having I and j value. So here num1 is equals to 0 and num2 is equals to 0, initializing new variable that we can store the fresh variable here. So I is equals to 0 and j is equals to 0. And then we are just simply iterating till we got the dot. So here I iterates. So it will store the now initially 0, 0 into 10 version dot I. Here we will got 1, 1 plus 0 is equals to 1. Num1 is now 1. And I iterates. And now it will become, it got 0, it come out of this loop. Similarly here also, one will got stored in num2 and we iterate and then this condition becomes false and that's why we come out of the loop. And num1 and num2 are both equal. This condition not satisfies. So we have to use I plus plus and j plus plus here. So now we have fresh I and j values. So now we will check for, now we will having this value now. We are here. So now we are checking I is less than version. We are just iterating over this. And now we stored this 0 value. For 0 value, it will again in num1 we store 0. And here also in num2, this 0 will be stored here as numeric. And we will compare it and both are equal. Then again we are iterating I plus plus and j plus plus. Now this 0. This 0 of version 1 is got stored in num1. But here in num2, as we are out of the string, so the num2 direct value will be taken as num0 because this is given in the question. Here, treat the missing values as 0. If one of the string has fewer divisions, then we have to treat as 0. So here it will satisfies this condition. At last, we will returning 0. If none of the conditions satisfies, we will lastly return 0. Now we will go into Leetcode and solve the problem. Code, I had already written the code, just copy and paste it. Otherwise, I will also give in the description box. So here I value and j value as same we are taking I is equals to 0 and j is equals to 0 and when values version 1 dot size and 2 is version 2 dot size and we are iterating I and j until we get the whole version strings. We are taking num1 is equals to 0, num2 is equals to 0 while I is less than n1 and dot operator same. I already explained this and let us check whether this passes the test case or not. So yes, it passes all the test cases and after submitting it, all test cases has been passed. So that's it, guys. You will find the code in the description box. Thank you. Like, share, and subscribe the channel.